I think with the state of the world that we live in today, now is the perfect time for all of us to hit the reset button on life. If there was ever a perfect time to reprioritize what's important, it's now. So I want to share a few personal virtues that I've recently reminded myself to re-implement into my daily life. And hopefully in sharing these, you can find something in them, even if it's only one thought that speaks to you and your journey as well, whether it be with your wife or your kids or your friends or your coworkers. I've found it's always good to have a few reminders as a foundation to fall back on. So check it out. Here's my reset 7. Okay, here we go. Number 1, honesty. Pretty obvious one, but look, any of us who have ever been through any type of emotional hell and back eventually come to the realization that the only and best way to live life is to be completely honest. To live your life any other way is a waste of precious time and energy. But first and foremost, you gotta be 100% honest with yourself, because this doesn't work if you're not. None of this 99% because, you start there, then you falls to 50, then you're at 25, then guess what? You're off the rails. And trust me, I was that guy at one point in my life. I've learned that as a husband and a parent, if I'm not being 100% honest with myself, then I'm truly not being honest with my wife or my kids or my coworkers. And anyone who's dealt with this knows that it can snowball really, really quickly. Also, avoid any temptation to stray from this concept if you think you're dealing with people that aren't being completely honest with you. Don't let their negative energy suck you in. Now, I know this is a lot easier said than done, but once you become accustomed to it, it is such a beautiful, freeing way to live your life. You'll never look back. And once you've got honesty as your foundation, it's almost as if the rest of your life's house builds itself. Plus, as Mark Twain put it, if you tell the truth, you ain't got nothing to remember. Number 2, check yourself. Hot on the heels of honesty, I found this one to be a must, and is without a doubt the first thing I do prior to addressing any situation or confrontation I may find myself in. No matter what type of conflict I may be dealing with, the first person I always check before any type of rebuttal is me. Am I the one causing this conflict? What did I do? Did I do something, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, to get it to this point? Once I can dig deep and honestly check myself in any type of situation, you'll clear your mind of unnecessary clutter. And in doing so, you'll allow yourself to move forward toward a resolution in the most positive way possible. Number 3, my bad. Admit when you're wrong. It's that simple. This is one of the most important things I've learned to do in my life. When I screw up, I take accountability, from the smallest thing to the largest. If it's on me, I step up. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. I was wrong. That's my fault. I'll do my best to make sure that doesn't happen again. I shouldn't have worn the red leather pants to Christmas Mass. Yeah, that almost happened. But anyway, you get the idea. However you want to say it, just say it. I was wrong. It's important for me, whether it be as a husband or a father or a friend or a coworker, to be strong enough to admit when I'm wrong. But it's even more important for my kids or those people I work with to hear it from me. Because when there's accountability at the head of a household or at the head of a company, then everyone else understands that it's an even playing field. And therefore, there's accountability for everyone. Life should never be about me. It should always be about us, because no one has ever succeeded at anything alone. Number 4, learn from your mistakes. Sounds simple enough, right? But so many of us don't do this. I'm guilty of it. And what happens? We repeatedly find ourselves in the same unfortunate situations. I'll tell you what, the amount of what I've learned about my life from the successes I've had isn't even close to what I've learned from the mistakes I've made. And this has been a very important virtue for me to get my children to embrace too. Look, there's a reason that everything happens. Why not live in the moment? Be open and aware as to why it does. Learn from what the mistake was and the consequences of it, and do your best not to repeat it. All right, here we go. Number 5, I call it earmuffs. If there's one thing I've learned from life in general, thanks to working in Hollywood, it is not to listen to the negative things people say about me. I tell people my skin is thicker than John Stamos' hair, and if you see John's hair, that's thick. But again, this is something that's much easier said than done, especially when you add social media and the trolls and bullies into the mix. The negativity that is thrust upon us seems to outweigh the positivity on a daily basis these days. And sadly, it's become our reality of the world we live in. Like, you cannot let someone else's words or actions control your emotions. Many times, the ultimate strength can be found with the response of silence. And with that silence, you not only control yourself, but you control the negativity thrust upon you. And thus, you control the situation. So believe me when I tell you, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do or say is nothing at all. So, shh. All right, here we go, guys. Number 6, positivity. That's why we're all here, right? Just be positive. Sounds simple enough. But as many of us can relate to, on certain days, it is not always easy to be positive guy, is it? I mean, I work very hard to be a glass half full person, and truthfully, these days, I'm more of I'm just happy I got a glass kind of guy. Now, in my house, by the day's end, my wife and kids will tell you they've had just about enough of me eavesdropping in on conversations, only to randomly yell positivity from the other side of the house, just in case I feel they're getting a little bit off track. Now, is it annoying? Yeah, positively annoying, but it is 100% better than the alternative. I'll tell you what, look, if we actually had a reality show from our house, they would make a drinking game out of it every time I say it. Be like, dude, Dan said positivity again, drink another Zima. But seriously, think about this. The universe is like a mirror, okay? And the energy we send out to it, it gives back to us in return. And given the state of the world today, this isn't just our best option. It should be our only option. We only get back as much as we give, guys. So why not give some positivity? Look, the truth is, each and every one of us comes equipped with all the necessary knowledge we need to navigate this beautiful journey we call life. But many times, our biggest issue lies within being brave enough to use that knowledge to confront our pain, and in doing so, allowing ourselves to learn from that confrontation and move forward in the most positive manner possible. Which leads me to number 7. There is a purpose to the pain. If there's one thing I've learned in life from having been through some extremely difficult times, it's this. There is a purpose to the pain. I've always done my best to embrace that thought. Everything happens for a reason, the good and the not so good. We just need to be patient, be positive, and strong enough to realize and accept this. Because the more you peel back that pain and embrace its purpose and why it exists, you'll not only become stronger, but you'll heal. And trust me, in that healing, many times you'll find something buried deep inside that will bring a smile to your face because you found the positivity within. Even if that smile comes from the realization that you persevered and made it through an incredibly difficult time, that smile is in your heart for a reason. Look, I often find myself sitting alone thinking about different difficult times that I've had and that I've been through in my life. And more often than not, it ends with me taking a deep breath, exhaling through a smile or a slight laugh, because I know I've become a stronger, better person for having endured it. Now, as I said when I began, now is the perfect time to remind ourselves and realign ourselves with the power of positivity and love and compassion. A smile, a simple thank you, a call, or even a note. It's easier than we think to make a positive difference in someone's day. Let's all do our best to come together, to help one another. And in doing so, we can build a resilience and a strength within us that can overcome anything. It's the nature and the beauty of the human spirit. We've all got the supplies and tools we need to build a beautiful life. It's just up to us to get to work doing it. So finally, look, I want you all to do 2 things for yourself today. 1, allow yourself to laugh as much as possible, because laughter is the fuel for a long life. And 2, if you love someone, tell them. Thank you for taking time to make the time. Power to the positive.